Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Ifoma. I'm a fashion designer and a pattern dressmaker. Today I'm going to show you how I made this two different shirt sleeve placket with cuffs. If this sounds like something you want to learn, just stay tuned to the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe. It will mean a lot to me, of course. Click on the dumbbell so you get notified when I post a new video. Which of the sleeve placket are you going to recreate? Leave a comment down in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's jump right into this tutorial. For the first method, I'm going over to just label my piece. I'm just going to be writing B, which signifies back to my pattern. You want to fold this by half, and then you're going to fold this again. This will give us the quarter width measurement, but mind you, you're going to be leaving out your side seam sewing allowance. And when you're done with that, you go over with your iron and press that down. Up close, you should be able to see the lines you ironed. We're going to be working with the back section, and from there I'm taking 3.5 inches down below. You can go up by 4 inches depending on your preference or how open you want your cuff to be, and then I'm just marking down with a straight line. Next up, you want to measure 1 cm on both sides. Then you're going to make an upside down triangle at the top part. This will help us create our notch. Next, you want to cut out a long strip like this, and it should be about 2 inches width. The length should be the length of your opening, your slit, plus 1 inches. You're going to be placing the right side of your strip to the wrong side of your fabric, and you're going to be sewing this at 1 cm. Remember that 1 cm we cut out and marked down? Yes, we're going to be sewing at 1 cm. We're going to proceed to cut off the excess, and we're taking this back to our sewing machine to sew this down. So you want to fold and sew at the initial stitch you're going to see at the bottom. Yes, we're going to be sewing on top of that initial stitch. After stitching that down, we're going to the wrong side of the fabric, and we're going to be joining these two sides together. When I said sew this down, I'm not saying sew all the way to the bottom. I'm saying sew at an angle, and it should look something like this. This method is so easy to do, and it comes in mostly female shirts. We're proceeding to the second method, and for the second method, the first part of the second method is almost like the first part of the first method. So we're going to be folding this in half and folding this again just to get the quarter width measurement, not forgetting your side seam allowance. When you give this a good press, you should be able to see your lines. And yes, we're going to be coming back to this. Let's proceed to make our placket. I have my fabric here and I'm going to be folding this in half. The reason why I'm folding this is because one part is going to represent the right arm and the other part is going to represent the left arm. For the length, we're going to be working with 18 cm, and for the width, we're going to be working with 10 cm. You can just go ahead and cut that out with your scissors. Starting off, we're going to be measuring out 1 cm and then just using our ruler to roll that down. After measuring out 1 cm, we're going to be measuring down 1 inches. You're going to be measuring out another 1 inch after that 1 inch. On that 1 inch we just marked, we're going to be measuring out 14 cm and marking that down. After marking the 14 cm, you want to go over and mark down half of an inch. I'm going to be going over all the measurements we took. For this first side, we took 1 cm, 1 inch, 1 inch, half inch, and then we're left with 1 inches. Next up, we're going to be going over with our ruler and then we're going to be splitting. You see that side we have half inch, which is 0.5. We're going to be splitting it into 2. And then we're going to be making our upside down triangle. Once we're done with that, you're going to cut this off. Please, while you're cutting this off, leave about 1 cm allowance from the 14 inches height and also 1 cm from the initial 1 inch we cut out. So it should look like this. Back to our sleeves, we're going to be taking this placket we've drafted out and placing this on the back side of our sleeve. Don't forget, this is going to be on the quarter line we measured at the back. So the placket, right side of the placket is going to be facing the back side of the fabric, and you can just go ahead and pin this down before taking this to your sewing machine to do further justice. When you're sewing this down, you're going to be sewing just at the half inch box. You know that line we have in between the 0.5 inches? Yes, we're going to be slashing this, also following our inverted triangle. You should have something that looks like this, and what we're going to do is we're going to be flipping this inside out. Once you flip it, you should have something that looks like this. You want to take this to your ironing board and give this a good press. Please note, when you're ironing this, make sure your seams are facing the sides of the placket, the direction of the placket. It should look something like this. So for this smaller part, you want to make sure that you also iron your hemming allowance just to give this a seamless finish, and then fold this like this. So you want to fold and sew on top of your initial stitch. You know that first stitch we did? Yes, you want to sew on that first stitch while this is folded. So once you sew and you get to this top part, you want to flip this at angle 90 and turn this over and then just stitch. After sewing, you just go ahead and cut off the excess you have. On this other side, what you want to do is you iron out your 1 inch as well as your 1/2 inch, and then your seam allowance facing your placket. You should have something that looks like this once you're done giving this a good press, and then you go ahead and flip this over. Make sure that when you want to sew this, you're sewing on your initial stitch. As you can see there, I went ahead to give this a little bit of a triangular shape at the tip over there. And if you're wondering how you can achieve this is super easy to make. All you have to do is make use of your iron to just get that triangular shape at the tip. I'm going over with my sewing machine. Like I said before, you're going to be stitching this on top of your old stitch. So when you fold this, you're going to be sewing on top of the initial stitch on the placket. We're going to be sewing this not all the way to the bottom on the side. You want to sew and stop where we have our opening, which is our slit. So I go over again to sew very close to where we have our first stitch. This is just like designed for me. You can skip this process if you like. You have your plackets looking like this. Do let me know in the comment section which of the method you're going to be trying out. We're going to be joining the curve in another tutorial, so just stay tuned. Link to my Instagram page and my socials is going to be in the description box below. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you very much. Click on the bell to get notified when I post a new video. Until then, see you in my next tutorial.